Hey everybody, this is Brett Franklin and I'm here with Your Old Kentucky Home. Today we're on a 160-acre parcel, and man, I tell you what, I've got a lot to tell you about this place. We've got 32 acres here in this pasture. It's actually bottomland right on the Kentucky River, and then there's another 22-acre field, and another field past that that's about 3 acres. There's a creek on the property. There's enough timber that you could harvest right now and gain about $35,000 to the owner. A fair amount of this land is actually in floodplain. So down here along the river, there's 10 acres up here that have been determined to be buildable, and kind of right where we're standing. And it's been determined that you could even put a basement in up to 8 feet. So that if you were building a 9-foot basement, the last foot would have to be above ground. But this 10 acres goes out this way, beautiful view. But one of the killer pieces of this property is 2 miles of Kentucky River frontage all the way around it. From right here, you can jump in a canoe or sea kayak. You got 20 miles from the last lock up above to about 10 miles down below to the next lock. So 19-20 miles of navigable, floatable river that you can fish on. The river's just beautiful down here. This is really a spectacular property. I'm so proud to get to talk to you guys about it today. A couple things to think about is this is a place where you could definitely have animals. There's a good old Kentucky tobacco barn on the property, but it'd make a great home site out here, and you could put it, you'd have a lot of different options. There's actually another home site on the other side of the property that's even more secluded than this one, but I can tell you right now, this is super quiet out here. And we're actually on the Kentucky River here. This is in Estill County. So, but the other side of the river is Madison County. So right up that ridge is College Hill in Richmond. But you're never gonna hear anything. You're never gonna see anybody. There's a few houses up on this ridge, but they're all obscured by the time you get to late April by leaves. So it's very, very quiet, and you're about 40 minutes from Lexington. So you can actually commute to Lexington or Winchester. It's a little bit longer to get to Richmond, but you can do that as well. We're about 15 miles from Irvine, Kentucky in Estill County. So from a hunting standpoint, I can tell you that deer come right over this ridge, drop down to the Kentucky River, and they travel along it. This is just a haven for the deer. And I didn't know this until about a year ago, but one of the reasons that deer travel down to the Kentucky River in particular is that because of the amount of water down there, and you have a certain amount of fog, well, that fog pulls minerals up out of the river and deposits those on the leaves, on the trees, and brush and browse that deer are going to try to eat. And that's very palatable to the deer, and it increases their nutrition. So that's the big draw. That's the reason why deer come down to the river. But you've got a creek down going through here that deer are going to travel along. So a lot of wildlife. You're going to see turkey out here. It's really a cool place. So come along with us, and we've got some more to show you. So hey guys, let's talk a little bit about black walnut trees, because this property is picture perfect for that kind of agricultural endeavor. Black walnut trees, they love water. They love being close to water. If they get inundated in a flood, it doesn't bother them. You'll find a lot of deciduous trees kind of down here through this creek that have actually been killed by floods. But that's not gonna happen to your black walnut tree. Over time, they're worth a lot of money. And this is a place where you could actually create a black walnut stand and in time, it would be worth a bunch of money. There's a place on the internet where the University of Missouri's agroforestry department has put together, you can just Google black walnut financial model. That'll give you an Excel spreadsheet that'll show you kind of what the costs are and how profitable that enterprise will be for you on 1 acre, depending on choices that you make in your business. But you can talk to your CPA, declare your property a timber enterprise, and ask them about that. They're the experts on that. I'm not a CPA, but it's definitely a long-term investment, and there's things that you have to do. For instance, your planting costs are going to be anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 per acre. But by the time you're finished, you're going to have something to give to your heirs, or possibly sell down the road, that's going to dramatically increase the land value. And you could plant down here in this bottom land all the way through here, probably easily 22 acres or more, depending on how much you want to do. The next field over, you can do another 20 acres and really dramatically change the value of this land. Of course, that's going to take management and investment, but it's not like a cattle operation where if you want to provide that to your heirs, all you can will to them really, for the long haul, is the land, because otherwise somebody's got to manage the cows, if that kind of makes any sense at all. Anyway, it's a beautiful place to live. Planting walnut trees down here is just one option, but it's a good way to go, and it's a good way to make land more valuable in Kentucky. So we're just going to walk down through here, take a look at this little creek on this property, and just show you kind of what the drone can't show you from up above in terms of the lowest part of the property. This is a county road that we're on right now. It's got gravel on it, and the county road part of it stops about, maybe 120 yards that way. There's a cemetery up on this ridge that county is supposed to provide access to. But there's a lot of wildlife habitat in here. NRCS, Natural Resource Conservation Service, can actually provide you a lot of advice and maybe actually some funding to support wildlife habitat down in here, and they're a great resource for anybody who owns a farm like this one. But a lot of wild birds down here. It's just a beautiful place. Then we're down here. We've definitely got some deer tracks. Not seeing any turkey tracks today. A lot of big sycamores down here. Water loving trees, black walnut. One thing that a lot of people don't talk about is, can you get a cell phone signal? And that is absolutely possible here. Great cell phone signal. Not always true on a remote property. So this is where the creek crossing is. And county said that they would come in here and put a culvert in and reestablish a low water crossing here. There's the old culvert there. One thing I didn't mention in the earlier part of the discussion, or earlier part of the video, was when you're up on the Kentucky River up here, because of this bank, you hear waterfalls coming off of that bank all the time. Anytime you're fishing over there, you just constantly hear waterfall in the background. Lovely place to spend an afternoon. Makes it really nice.